Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney here. So you see the setup. You see it's different. We're trying to up our game a little bit. Thank goodness Devin has an amazing studio. You'll meet Devin later when we have him on the podcast. But what I'm going to start doing, you'll start seeing them come out, is going to be some solo podcast about different topics, different ideas, different frameworks that have helped me change my life around. I'm trying to get extremely tactical with the podcast and help out as much as I can. And one of the things I'm going to talk today about is a skill that I truly believe is something that, to be honest with you, is probably the foundation of everything that exists for you to level up, to create the life that you were looking for, to change your life around, get sober, get better, buy businesses, real estate, doesn't matter, okay, is consistency. So how I changed my life around was to be uber and ultra consistent. But here's the problem, though, is when I say consistent, there's a lot of things that come to mind. Well, yeah, but he's just consistent because he can. Well, here's the problem, is consistency is not about that. Consistency is about creating a space where the act of showing up is greater than the action that you're doing. Does that make sense? Right? So meaning that on the days that you don't want to, doing it anyway is a promise you're keeping to yourself. So that is something that you continue to do. Guys, there are many days that alarm goes off at 4:30 or 5 in the morning. I'm like, ugh. Right? But it only takes like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and then I'm ready to go. But in those first couple of minutes, you're just like, ugh. You know what I'm talking about. There was a story about a guy who was way overweight. I think he was like 400 pounds. And he was like, I can't go to the gym. I can't do anything. So for the first week, what his trainer got him to do was he drove to the gym. You heard what I said. He didn't even go into the gym, but he agreed to the act of driving to the gym. Okay? Then on the second week, he went in for 5 minutes. And then he left. And you're like, that doesn't do anything. It's not about that. It's about the mental part. Fast forward, 3 years later, that guy's lost 150 pounds. It's not about the process I'm not going to do one push-up because it's not going to mean anything to me. Yeah, but 1 turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4, turns into 5. You know what I talk about all the time? You know, the secret to life is the craziest thing you ever heard in your entire life. I know. Hold on. Put down all your books. Stop all your courses. You know what is amazing? You take 1 step, and then you take 2. It's this groundbreaking, understated thing that nobody talks about. And then guess what? Well, we'll wait for it. The one after that is 3. And then 4. We make it too complicated because here's why. And this is where it's going to really mind F you. Because subconsciously, you're trying to self-sabotage yourself. Consciously, you're trying to make something happen so you can have an excuse to not do the thing. There's not groundbreaking stuff that I'm doing with my coaching. There's holding accountable, and there's cleaning up the BS behind your ears. But at our core, we know what we should do. It's not that complicated. Drink water, be nice to people, 1% every day, and then grow. That's it. And so in order to do that, you have to be consistent. And one of the big examples of that is the podcast. I knew that if I was going to start something, that I had to be consistent with it because that's where you win. That's the compounding effect of consistency creates the wins in your life that you can't even begin to imagine. So how do you start? Okay, here's my little tip. So instead of coming up with 5 things to do, okay, come up with 1. Do that 7 days in a row, okay? Once you get to the 7th day, then you add a second. But you keep doing that first one for 7 more days. So then you do the second one for 7 more days. Then when you get to the 14th day, you do 3. You add another one. And these could be small things. It could be stretching. It could be walking for 5 minutes. It could be reading 10 pages. It could be brushing your teeth. But what you're doing is you're building a habit. And you're creating consistency in your life, and you're showing up and you're saying, yes, I'm going to do this. And so fast forward, now you've brought in 5 things. They're all ingrained into who you are. And now you created something special. But that's not what we do, right? Oh, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to go do CrossFit. I'm going to go run a marathon my first day back. You hurt yourself, or it feels bad and you don't go back, because we can't build up to anything in this life. Have you ever thought about that you're going to be healthy for the rest of your life? Why are we operating in the space where we think everything is like 6 months, 2 months, a week, 3 months? How about forever? I'm forever looking at business experiences, investment opportunities, and travel, because that's something I would do till the day I die. One of my great friends, Anthony Vicino. Every investment is a great investment looked at on the proper time horizon. It's not the fact that you can't do it. It's the fact that you haven't set yourself up for success. One of those simple things being, I'm going to go out on a stretch and say that your workout clothes for the morning don't belong in the back of your drawer. But that's another thing that we do subconsciously, is we hide them. So that's an excuse. I'm going to tell you a true story. It's so ridiculous, but tell me if anybody else can relate. When I was in college and I was a freshman, I never went to school if it was raining. Like that's the truth. Like I was like, oh, it's raining. I got a drink today. Like that was like my thing. And here's what's weird about this. And I really hope I'm not the only one. I was always in a bad mood when it rained. You know, in Texas, we didn't have a lot of rain, and I equated it with a bad mood. I swear, I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. Until I met my fiance 3 years ago, who's from Seattle. And you know what she said to me that changed my entire life? She said, you know what's amazing about the rain is you can be happy in that too. You can be happy in that too. And seeing her joy in the rain, I realized that it was a ingrained, ridiculous habit that I had. Oh, it's raining, boom, ba, ba, ba. And so now I enjoy the rain, because that's what life is. It can't be sunshiny all the time. But here's a trick too. You can't take your consistent new habits on the road with you until you can master it in a controlled environment in your house. See, a lot of people try to start new habits on vacation. They try to start new habits when they're traveling for work, all these things. And that's fine, but it's not road worthy yet. When I got sober, I didn't go into bars and I didn't travel a lot when I was first getting sober, because I wanted to master what I was doing at home first in a controlled environment that I could control. And so you have to create space where you set yourself up for success. So put your clothes out the night before. You know what I did? This really was a game changer for me. And to be honest with you, I'm calling myself out and I should get back to it. I had all my books that I was reading and listening to planned out for 90 days. How many times in the morning when you wake up do you search through your Audible or search through your Kindle or search through whatever and try to find the book that you're listening to or the podcast that you're listening to? How easy is it not to do those things if you don't have it planned out? You spend 5-10 minutes trying to find the thing instead of just knowing exactly what you're doing. We've created a society where a lot of the times it's just decision fatigue that's killing us. When you go to Starbucks, there's 17 milks to pick from. I didn't even know these milks existed. Obviously, I'm making a joke, but I'm being serious. After I've had a long Monday, which is my longest day of the week, and my fiance asked me what I want for dinner, all I can do is stare at the wall. I don't want to make a decision anymore. And so you have to eliminate decisions out of your life so you can make decisions into the spaces that matter by setting yourself up for success the night before. It is a proven fact that we as humans have more beta waves in the morning than we do at night. And so it's easier to make harder decisions in the morning than it is at night. By like 3 or 4 o'clock every day, my mind starts wandering. I don't have meetings past 6 because I cannot focus. So stop making your schedule out to trip you up. Start setting yourself up for success. Plan big things in the morning. Make big decisions in the morning. Set yourself up with your workout gear in the morning. This is how you're going to create some consistency in your life. And the question is, if you did that 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, 60 days, 70 days, 90 days, how would that create space for you? It would create something that's unstoppable. You would feel better. You would keep the promises to yourself, and it would help out everything that you're doing. So I truly hope that you can take some tactical advice from this. I'm trying to get more granular and walk through a couple concepts for you on things that have changed my life. And so this is what I'm trying to bring to you. So if you got some value from this, send it to a friend, share it with somebody that will enjoy this, and we'll talk to you next time.